My wife, Laura, and I are both from Nebraska, so we go from Chicago to Nebraska and back a few times a year. One time, we were making that trip, and on the way back, my car broke down, and we didn't have money for a hotel, and like things were just desperately thin. And I called my brother-in-law in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, which is like right where we were. I'm like, hey, Alan, yeah, we got a problem with our car. And he goes, well, I thought a hot young sales executive like you would have a better car and would be able to rent a hotel. And I'm like, yeah, well, he wasn't actually there, and he called one of his friends and he got us a place to stay. So we're staying in the basement of some family that we don't know. We're trying to figure out what's wrong with our car. And so, I call into work because I was supposed to be in that day, and and I'm not there. And man, we are so desperately in trouble. And the thing I remember most about that trip was I had taken some homework home from the company that I worked at. They were a manufacturing company, and they had these little screw assemblies, and they would pay you 4 cents a piece to put these things together and stick them in a box and bring them in. So we had 5,000 screw assemblies, and we're making $200 for putting these things together. And I remember sitting in the basement of this person's house with my car broken down somewhere and putting these screw assemblies together with the babies and everything, and just going how am I ever gonna get out of this mess? And man, that was miserable. And the miserable part of it was I couldn't see my way out. It's well, I quit my job 2 years as an engineer and I went into sales. So if you go into sales and 2 years later you haven't successfully sold anything, now you're in real trouble, because what sane sales organization is going to hire you, and what sane engineering organization is going to hire you? Okay, so I am really between a rock and a hard place. And that was the lowest point of my career.